back then everybody wanted to do sciences just because they didn't want to look like
they were not brilliant.
That's it. That's just it.
Exactly.
You know,
the
so-
science students were the smartest.
Exactly.
I didn't want to be. I guess I was the exception to the general rule.
Oh, no, of course. I
I never fancied it.
And most of the guys in the art classes wanted to be lawyers.
Mostly, yeah. It was always that.
Baby,
Well,
that's why you read law.
no, I liked it.
You liked it?
It wasn't even imposed on me. It wasn't
Okay.
superimposed on me by my parents. I chose it
Yeah.
myself.
But I think this conversation is actually about the factors that guided someone like you to study law. If you look at it, I do a lot of counseling, career counseling, basic guidance counseling, and talent management. And now, not at the level of the Mohits, the Marvin records, and all of that.
Okay.
But the basic, where you actually look at the child's aptitude, a child's temperament, a child's personality, and you are able to say, this is what you're suited. Leave your subjects for now. These are the things I think you will succeed in. For instance, there's a case that constantly comes to my mind, and each time I listen to this girl and I hear about her progress, I kind of give myself the flowers.
Okay.
This child, she was about to write her UTME exam, and I just sauntered into their house, and I'm like, hey, come on, what's happening here? In the voice of Mr. Macaroni. And the mother and the girl, they were bantering, and the mother started teasing that, look at this big girl, she likes playing with children. Every time I keep chasing her away from kids. And I'm like, you like playing with kids? Again, she looked at me, and this beam on her face. She was shy actually to own up that I love to play with kids. At 19, that didn't go down well as far as our regular socialization is concerned. I said, so you love to play with kids, so have you filled your jam form? She said no, she hasn't. That she's still trying to enroll for UTME, but she's not sure what she wants to study yet. I spent a few hours with her, and baby, you won't believe it, I saw genuinely this girl, she's strong. When you say strong, when she's around kids, but this time she really doesn't have a clue what to do with children, but she's comfortable around them.
Okay.
So I asked, have you heard of early childhood education as a course? She said, no, I have not heard about it. I said, but education, my mommy will not allow me to study education. No. I said, you just calm down. Let's sort yourself. We'll talk to your mommy later.
We have a lot of children who end up studying things that they have no business studying.
They're not happy.
They're not happy studying.
No, they're not.
And at this, we tend to believe that the role of the school is to provide this guidance and counselors who do that. But at the level of the home space, what can parents do better? Because some of them see some of these traits, but in their minds they don't know where to channel it. So they shut it down, like it's not a viable course for their child to study. So it's not like they're being mean, but they just don't understand how that can be a pathway or a career path. So what can parents do? What should parents do when they notice their children have affinity for some other things or vocations or skills that doesn't seem like it's a career?
If you notice your child has affinity or has an aptitude for certain things, the first thing you need to do is to understand what that thing is all about. For instance, if your child is expressive, your child loves to stand in front of the mirror and perform, hold the mic, and something you should know this person is a performer. This person wants to talk, wants to be heard. This person could be maybe a broadcaster, maybe an actor, maybe it could also be a teacher. But one thing you can't be wrong about is that this child is not the type that will keep her mouth or his mouth shut. This one is expressive. This one can be kept in a laboratory and be looking for carrying out experiments. This person can talk. So you start to. So how do we express? What's now the mistake a lot of parents make is because your child can talk. The next thing you conclude, she's
Lawyer to
Lawyer.
be a lawyer.
Lawyer in view.
She can
I'm telling you.
debate. But that's not it. That child could be, first of all, performance is an area where the spectrum of talent in that area is much. You have models, you have broadcasters, you have anchors, you have teachers. So these are areas where
Let's not forget salesmen.
fantastic. You get it?
Yeah.
That's there. Even advertisers, voice over artists. Then you have another thing a parent could also do it. Apart from knowing what that is all about, understanding all of these temperaments, personalities, traits, talent. This is a shortcut. Talk to people who know. That can save you a lot. And then stop looking at your child's passions and interests from the point of view of money. Because I've said this before here. Anything, and I use the word anything in caps, you support your children to do, they will always succeed in it. I can tell you for free. I was telling you the story before we went on break. This girl eventually studied early childhood education at the University of Ibadan.
With the support of the mother.
Eventually, I got them to support her. I got them to see reasons with me that, and you see, she was running away with this misconception. I'm trying to use a nice word, but that people who study education are the least brilliant people. You can imagine that. This girl went to UI, read ECE, early childhood education. She almost graduated first class, but she was the preferred of all the lecturers. They loved her. She went to serve in Enugu. While she was serving, the school they pleaded with her, please stay. The girl said, no, I need to go back to Lagos. Guess what happened? An elite school in Port Harcourt called her lecturer, one of her lecturers, and please, we need somebody to join our nursery team. Please, can you recommend this babies? She just finished serving, but I think she will roll. The lady encouraged her, please go. Port Harcourt is not so bad. You go there. This is 3 years. The girl is head of nursery as we speak in that school. What am I saying? Beyond the parental support, we were designed, or we are designed to thrive the way animals thrive in their natural habitat. You get what I'm saying? Lions will always do well in the jungle. But can you imagine raising a lion in a poultry? I don't know.
The chickens will be done for anyway.
Yep.
So oftentimes when we reconfigure our children, when they start to show those interests, when they start to exhibit those traits, and we are not comfortable, because for instance, a boy is dancing ballet. He says, mommy, I'm interested in ballet. Shut up! This is not what boys do. Boys don't dance ballet. And because you're not comfortable with that, this boy has started to exhibit what he was designed for, but it's not sitting well with you based on your traditional beliefs and concepts about careers and talent. What happened to coding? What happened to football? You get it? How on earth will you be dancing ballet, a boy for that matter? And we all know what dancing is all about. And then you rewire this boy and push him to maybe
medicine and
software engineer. Okay, medicine. And the boy graduates as a medical doctor. Maybe, if he does eventually. And he's miserable, I can tell you. We have so many of them.
What usually even happens is that in the bid to study medicine and surgery, he possibly will not get the cutoff mark. He will end up in med lab science. That's something else that he doesn't want to do.
Exactly.
And he will
Further
be there
digressing from the focus,
so he's now focusless.
Yes.
And when he comes out, he will dump it for something else.
Exactly. He's like, I used to, the way I describe such kids, they are like the egg that rolled out of incubation. You know how it does. The native chicken, is it native chicken now? It broods over the eggs to incubate them so they are hatched. Yeah. So any egg that rolls out of incubation, you can't hatch that egg. You can't eat the egg. It's useless. That's why you have so many adults now. They are stranded. They are not dancers. They are not lawyers. They are not broadcasters. They are still trying to figure out themselves. And that's why we're having the Ingenium Summit where we can have this conversation, because we need to have this. You send a child to school, and the next thing a counselor does, if you have one in the first place, is to look at, okay, you are good at maths, you are good at physics, okay, economics, agri science. I think you do well studying agri-econs. Excuse me, from where to where? There is a boy who is so obsessed with coding. How can you tell that boy to go and study agri-econs? You're veering this guy off his path. And then you have a boy who has been fantasizing about acting. To you, he's timid, isn't it? To you, he's quiet. He doesn't like talking to people. But in his mind, whenever he's alone, the guy is acting. That boy, if you engage with him, you'll be shocked what he's going to tell you. If you push him and encourage him, that's an actor for you. I was discussing with a parent, and maybe you can't believe it. This boy is so good at maths. So good. But guess what? The boy actually wants to design cars.
Okay,
I
there
said-
can be a connection.
Hey, but they're already packaging him for for medicine. We need to encourage children, young people, to first of all look at what they are good at first, not what JAM is offering you. Consider the things you can do easily. Your strength before you venture into a course you need to study. That's important. And then we're also educating parents, because the journey begins from home. And then when you get to school, your teachers should actually know that when you get into your class, you're not just teaching children, you're teaching talents. So observe these children, and while you're observing them, there are things they do excellently well outside of the classroom. Sometimes even within the classroom, they can show sparks of what they are good at.
Yeah.
I kept saying this. The guys who taught someone like Dr. Seed, for instance, should have known that this guy is an entertainer. And when you invite the parents, you do your job first. Like, look, this is who this child is. Can you allow this child breathe? Don't suffocate him by sending him to dentistry school. You get it. Now, if the parent says, yes, I know he's an entertainer, but I want him to finish medicine first before entertaining. Anyway, good luck to you. But sometimes I've seen people who, by the time they're done with medicine, the entertainer in them is gone.
Yeah.
And then another thing we're going to be discussing also is, why do we lack people who can nurture talents in the sciences? Now, you see that most people here, they study science, they cross over to arts. They study science, they cross over to arts. You hardly find anybody who studied arts and crossed over to science. You don't see that. And most people who crossed over to art, not because they are running away from science, but a majority of science teachers are not inspiring. Don't forget, a child can't learn from you if you don't inspire that child. That's the starting point. So how do you become creative as a science teacher? That's one area where we'll be looking at. And we'll also be looking at, how do you create a system where scientific talents can be nurtured? You get what I'm saying? In our schools, we now have introduction to practicals, alternative to practicals rather. So you're writing an exam. Rather than you do the practicals of that exam, you're told to do alternative to practical. Already the science in that guy is gone. And then most of them don't also complete their syllabuses. So these are the things we're going to be churning out. And we have speakers who are coming to share their own stories, how they switch all the way from medicine to brand, from chemistry to film making. There's so many of such guys coming to share with us.
Fantastic.
Quickly.
What time?
Where's it happening?
It's on Saturday at the Star Hub Hall. Star Hub Hall is in Daystar Christian Center, and we're starting at 10 a.m. And basically that's what it is. It's gonna be fun. There are so many kids performing. In fact, that's for me.
Is it free?
It is free. Yes, it is free. So please make your way to the Star Hub Hall on Saturday,
All right, thank you so
30th of
much.
September.
It's a wrap on Parenting Today, and of course, Breakfast in the City continues. My name is Bibi Sasa.
And my name is Chiwata Oyema.
And I am Rex